Hi, welcome to SVR Sports Picks. He's Drew Martin. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is Tuesday, June 13th. Drew Martin and I, of course, do a regular show where we preview the upcoming series in baseball. Usually we do this one on Mondays, but we're doing this on Tuesdays and on Tuesday this week, and we're doing it in this format because we're having some tech issues in the studio. So we're just going to do it like this. So Drew Martin, we're doing this a little bit later. It's Tuesday afternoon. Some of the series have already started, and the others that haven't started will start in a few hours. But let's still look at what we got on tap here. Of course, we update my record in this show, which I very courageously and very honestly throw up every show, win, lose, or draw. And I did actually have a winning day on Monday, which is nice. But I am still slightly negative, somewhat negative overall on the year, hoping to bounce back. And today I have only a couple of picks. One of the picks, Drew Martin, let's talk about this one that I went with yesterday and got a push on it. It was a low-hanging fruit. It was Boston. And tonight it's also my low-hanging fruit with Price going. And as we know, Philly is a terrible team. They are also actually the single worst team in baseball in terms of road ROI, now at about negative 40% after last night. Boston is, a team, not a juggernaut team, but they're still a team that is positive on the road. They have some nice attributes, a great bullpen, an improving bullpen. And, what do you think? Do you think Boston's is a good bet tonight and maybe for the rest of the series?
Yeah, well, so they're sitting at minus 245 kind of across the board.
Yeah.
I would hope that, I don't know. Maybe you do. There is value in laying that, but I'm guessing you're laying the -1.
I took -1, which wound up to be about -190, a little bit better than -190. So
okay, but it's not -1.5, right?
Right,
because I'm a proponent of not laying the 1.5 with the home team. 8 to 9 at bats. I don't think it's fully factored into the market, but yeah, -1, it's not bad. You get the push. Yeah, I'm totally on board. Price's velocity is up. Lefty coming from the left side. Lively, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about him.
I can tell you about him.
Okay.
I can tell you quite a bit about him. He's a guy who he doesn't have strikeout stuff for the major league hitters. He's one of these guys who did have success in the minors, but is not likely to have. He might be a below average starter in the majors if he can make some improvements. But, his first 2 starts so far were looking very ominous. I think he has a total of like 1 or 2 strikeouts in his first 2 starts. Okay. Just looking like a guy who is not, at least for right now, ready for prime time. Philly, of course, is just, using whatever they have, getting guys experience. So my sense is that Price is in a big bounce back spot here from his off start against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium in his last start. And then the next 2 games when the series switches to Philadelphia, we also have Johnson going for Boston, who's a guy who pitches to contact, but he's going up against Hellickson, who's been getting shellacked recently. He looks like maybe he's got some sort of injury concerns right now. And then on Thursday, I'm seeing Chris Sale against Pivetta, and once again, I think we can. It's almost a guarantee that Sale's not been lights out. He probably will give up 1, 2, maybe 3 runs. But Pivetta has been also similarly to Lively getting hit. And, it just feels like in all 3 of these upcoming games, despite the fact that Boston's going to be a big or massive favorite, feels like they might have still value.
Yeah, these 2 and 2 that they do with the interleague and the opposing divisions, I find them very interesting, unique handicaps, because it's the teams playing 4 games against each other, which it's been very well documented. The ML players don't really like that, playing against the same team for 4 games. And you have the travel spot there. I know it's not far from Philly to Boston, but it's just unique angles in that aspect. For Lively, when you were saying betting on or actually against him, and he hasn't been able to get major league hitters out. How long has he been in the major leagues?
I think he's only had 2 starts.
So 2 starts in the major leagues. One thing that I do look at with these guys jumping up, if they just jump up from single A, double A majors, and I'll look a lot of times to fade them. Whereas if they spent some time in double A and their strikeout to walk ratio is okay, and then they move up to triple A, their strikeout to walk ratio is okay. Those guys I don't necessarily fade away.
Sure.
Because, they're making the step up. They've shown that they can do it. They're making the step up again. And also going after double-A hitters, those guys are more ceiling guys, power, 5-tool guys. Whereas when you go to triple-A, It's more the guys that just can't make the MLB.
Right. Yes.
And it's a different type of hitter. So if you can show the ability to get both of those out, I kind of looked almost back those guys. But so I haven't done my research on Lively, but
yes. So my sense is that he's he's gotten some results that, he has 3 strikeouts so far in his 2 starts, 5 walks. And just feels like at this spot going into Fenway against Price with Philly backing him, all those combined, I made Boston my low-hanging fruit -1.
I like it, man.
The day tonight. Yes. And then again, also the rest of the series, Hellickson, something's up. Hellickson looks like he started off the year great, but he looks like he is really regressing now and maybe injured. And then again, on Thursday, Sale against Pavetta. We'll see what the line is. Obviously, since Boston will be on the road, it won't be, that huge of a line. Might be 200. We'll see what it is, but Boston is, again, looking like they might be a good bet there. All right. So what else has caught your eye? What has caught your eye, Drew Martin? That you'd like
I got a lot of things. I mean, just
great. Let's hear them all.
Hear them all. Quick nuggets. One, Jimmy Nelson on the hill for Milwaukee. Interesting to me, going against this guy Gonzales. It's almost like Gonzalez but it's missing a couple letters. I'm not really sure. Interesting matchup there. Do you think Nelson's going to continue his very impressive numbers?
Yes. My sense is that long term he probably is. This is the second game of a doubleheader, so I'm not exactly sure what I think about this one. The first game is actually going on right now, so we'll have to see what the lineups are and when they get announced. Milwaukee obviously has been a team that has been great on the road this year, right?
Yeah.
Like plus 33%, something like that. And my sense is that this would be a good series to take them. St. Louis is a team that I'm definitely looking in general, very happy to fade. Not necessarily an auto fade team, but definitely a team that I am happy to fade. On Wednesday I'm seeing Garza and Leak. And then on Thursday, Davies against Waka. So those are 2 kind of like pitching matchups. Sometimes pitching matchups are very key to your handicapping, and other times they're kind of just like not as important. Maybe there's a wash or an edge, a small edge that's very baked into the cake, so you can focus more on the teams. And my sense is that Milwaukee will be a good play here in this series in general. And I actually took them in Game 1 against Lynn. I don't know how that's turning out right now, but in general, I'm feeling like Milwaukee.
They were a big underdog in that game.
Yeah, about plus 145 or something. And I was expecting Lynn to get hit a little bit, but in general, I'm leaning towards Milwaukee in that series.
Looks like it's 0-0 top 5. Okay. Yeah, that was an interesting one. I decided to lay off of it only because I like Milwaukee. Milwaukee, keep in mind, also rakes lefties. So,
yes.
But it's kind of reflected in the price in the second game. Another thing that caught my eye, Chicago Cubs, Mets, one of the big series. Lester Wheeler. Yeah. That's an interesting one tonight.
I mean, the Cubs are now, after losing last night, they're now minus 30% ROI on the road. Jeez. The Mets, though, have been bad at home, minus 24% ROI at home, though. But, just in June, the Mets have been profitable. Cubs, again, continue to be unprofitable. And I don't know. My sense is that the Mets offense, surprising that we're saying this here in June, but it is maybe significantly better than the Cubs offense. The Mets, I think their pen is improving a little bit. Still give a significant bullpen edge to the Cubs here, but just feels like the Cubs are just back in auto fade mode like they were before they won the World Series.
Yeah, especially the way they're being priced. And another interesting aspect, whenever Harvey's on the mound, there's some talking points, some interesting handicap angles. You think, I don't know, him against Montgomery, where do you think that will be priced at? I'm not seeing a line yet.
Oh, geez. Gosh. Wow, that is tough.
That's a tough one, I know.
That is wow. Where will that line be? I don't know, but again, my sense is that probably the Mets will be a little bit undervalued there, whether they're a favorite or a dog. I mean, I think it'll probably be like Mets like minus 110, something like that would be my guess. But I don't really know. But again, my sense is just that the Cubs are just generally overvalued right now, and maybe they will continue to be so. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to. And I would see it's the Cubs name. That's why it's so tough to price. But
absolutely. All right, let's see other series that are interesting. Well, the Yankees going into the Angels is an interesting series because, of course, the Yankees, killing it at home recently. Huge offensive performances. Now they go onto the West Coast. They already had one game where they won behind Masahiro Tanaka. And do you think that the Yankees are likely to continue their success in this series? Tonight with CC Sabathia, and then on Wednesday.
Yeah, I do. I mean, one, I like Pineda a lot on Wednesday.
Yes.
And I kind of like the whole hitter versus pitcher matchups. I mean, versus Ramirez tonight, and also tomorrow they got Shoemaker. I like that Yankee lineup against those two guys. I mean, they're not overpowering pitchers. And you coming from the right side, I think that the Yankees will be putting up some runs. I'd actually look for the Yankees over on their team totals. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, the Tanaka game I completely stayed off of, and actually I was feeling the exact same way. If I was I didn't bet the Yankees game tonight either. If I was going to, I would take a shot probably with the Yankees team total over, and then on Wednesday, I'm seeing Pineda against Shoemaker. We'll see what that line is, but again, it feels like the Yankees should have an edge, and then they'll go into Oakland, an even tougher place to hit. But Oakland will be returning from Miami. Now we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, but it's
Do they get a day off?
I don't believe that they are. No, that's a Thursday game, so I believe that Oakland is they have an afternoon game against Miami.
So that might be a fade spot on Oakland on Friday.
I mean, the issue there is just that Oakland, again, terrible team on the road, great team at home, even better than the Angels. So, will the Yankees suffer some kind of West Coast lethargy like a lot of teams do when they go into both the Angels and Oakland? They won their first game with Tanaka. We'll see how they do in the rest of the Angels series. And I don't know it's an educated guess right now. You think the Yankees will continue to excel, in Oakland? Oakland's
I like their lineup.
Fielding team, right?
Yeah, that's true. I'm not looking to bet Oakland against New York. I don't know. I would much rather be on the Yankees, especially. I'll take the sharp angle of a team going cross country, returning home. I'll take that over the Oakland A's performing well at home. Right. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Excellent point there. Analysis there, Drew Martin. And then the next one, all I want to make sure we get to is Houston against Texas. Now, of course, Houston, obviously in-state rivals. Houston went into Texas in their last series and just dominated Texas, right? Dominated them, right? A sweep, won every game.
What side were you betting on that?
What
side?
You know it, baby. You know it, baby. I was on Houston on that one,
Boom.
baby. I was on Houston. Run lines, baby. Run lines. Now, the question is, what happens here? And then Texas, of course, then went into, although, I was also on some of the Washington run lines against Texas, and those did not cash. So Texas went into Washington, swept them. And then the first game with Darvish got a nice win at Houston. The question is, how do things normalize or not the rest of the series? Tonight there's Peacock, and again, Houston is a big favorite. And then on Wednesday, the pitching matchup again. Cashner, although it's uncertain who's going to start for Houston, Cashner is a tricky guy. Cashner's a guy that I've been looking to fade and getting a little bit burned on. I faded Cashner, I think, when he was against Rourke against Washington, and that didn't work out.
I was on that too. That was a tough one.
Well, Cashner is a guy who has been getting results despite some questionable peripherals, reduced velocity. Now, when you have guys like Adam Wainwright and some other kinds of guys, you would maybe expect them to be able to, or Greinke, be able to do well with reduced stuff. I guess there are more middle-range pitchers who can also do the same thing, and with reduced stuff, continue to get results. Maybe Cashner's one of those guys, or you think he's going to get hit here by Houston?
Yeah, I don't want Cashner against that Houston lineup, I'll tell you that. And also, I like Peacock tonight, so I might be
yes.
I don't have anything in pocket yet, and it looks like Houston's getting bet up, in the home team. I might look to your alternative run line, -1.
Yeah.
Where do you find that? What book?
Oh, I just make them my own. I just make them myself. You bet the same amount to win on the money line if it's the favorite as you bet to risk on the run line. And, of course, if you're taking a +1 line, you do the opposite. But you bet the same amount on the money line as you bet to win on the money line as to risk on the run line. And then you got an automatic -1 line, which you can even you don't have, because you're betting them on individual bets. You don't even have to do them at the same book. You can line shop for the best -1.5 line, line shop for the best money line. Don't even have to do them at the same book, as well as getting better odds than if you just use what the book offers for -1. So I'm slick, Drew Martin.
I was going to say,
slick.
Professor Pete Loshak.
My IQ, my IQ is like slightly above average. It's like 102 or something. My IQ is like, not what you might at first guess.
No, I'm thinking it'd even be higher.
It's like 102, 102.5, something like that.
Wow.
Real nice IQ I got there. Drew Martin. All right. So is there anything else you'd like to bring to our attention, or should we shut this show down that is coming a little bit late in the week?
Okay, we got Fade Gibson tonight. Seattle Mariners.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. I am on Seattle, as I'm sure you've seen. The line moved against us, and Gibson has been making some improvements recently. Oh, you're just calling him Fade Gibson, or did you actually bet Seattle?
I have not bet Seattle. I just see Fade Gibson is up here commanding a favorite price. I know they're at home, but I don't know. Not interested in backing him.
Okay.
Let's see. Vargas tonight. I like that under Kansas City versus San Francisco. Under first 5. Wait, Tony, the odds guy here. He's on the under for the full game. I just don't like. I don't trust either of those two.
On which one? On who?
Kansas City, San Francisco.
Okay.
You know, 2 southpaws. Vargas first block. I'm on under first 5, and then we also got Amir Garrett. You know, the big, you know, high ceiling lefty, Dominican guy, throws hard. I don't know. I'm looking to fade him. I think the market's pricing him too high. I've lost on him. I've already lost 2 units on him since he's been called up.
Well, he's been getting utterly shellacked the past bunch of starts of his. And people are just squaring up on him like nobody's business.
Well, I don't get it. What's up with that? Big lefty throws hard and squaring him up. That doesn't always.
That's the question. And, you know, I've looked into it a little bit. You know, of course, when they ask him, he's like, you know, I just have to make a small tweak and I'll be a lot better, which is sort of like, as I think someone commented, every major league pitcher is a small tweak away from being,
you wouldn't make it
great. Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking he's tipping his pitches or something.
That is something that certainly, you know, who had that big problem with that was Eduardo Rodriguez for Boston. Remember that?
And he went back down and came back and was better.
Yes. Yeah. And so it could be pitch tipping. It could be an under the radar injury. It could be subtle subconscious mechanic changes that a pitcher has made, which is sometimes due to compensating for an injury and sometimes not. Whole load of things. Yes, if you're talking about long-term, like, you know, mid 2019, you know, Garrett might be one of the better pitchers in baseball. As of right now, he definitely has some issues. And let's talk about another sort of tricky one that I'm seeing on Wednesday. Atlanta at Washington. Teheran against Rourke. Teheran is a guy who very, very up and down. Sometimes is one of the top pitchers in the majors in terms of stuff, and other times just gets completely shelled. He's been notably bad at home this year. And then Rourke and Washington's lineup has sort of been less productive than you would normally expect for about a month now. You know, at the beginning of the year, if you showed me this game in this matchup, I'd be thinking Washington on the run line for sure. I don't know what I'm thinking about it. It's a matchup on Wednesday. You have anything to say about that one?
I like both of these pitchers, and they both really haven't been as good as I thought they would have been. I'm likely not going to have a bet on this, given the price is going to be heavy to the Washington side. But Teheran, you know, fastball changeup guy, I'm normally looking to back him. But Freddie Freeman-less Atlanta Braves are not going to be getting my money anytime soon. Okay, and then 2 pitching matchups that I'm seeing on Thursday, unless they have changed, but I don't think they have. Let's talk about it. The Dodgers at Cleveland. Now, of course, tonight Kershaw against Bauer is an interesting one, but on Thursday, Hill against Tomlin, and Tomlin is a guy who has great control, can be, of course, crushed. Hill is a guy who I'm thinking is going to be overvalued going forward, so maybe that might be a spot to take Cleveland or to take the over. I'm kind of not a buyer on Hill right now. Yeah, I like the over right there. Tomlin, I'm definitely not interested. Hill, with under a 4 ERA, haven't looked at his peripherals too closely, but yeah, I like the over there. Okay, and then the only other one I wanted to mention is Chris Tillman for Baltimore. He'll be going against the White Sox in a day game on getaway day, and Tillman is a guy who I think is, until further notice, I haven't officially done it yet, but I think I might officially right now put him on the auto fade list. Tillman is really having some issues. Okay, I'd go auto fade, and also getaway day. Watch out for those unders. Yeah, right. It's starting to, you can really see it. The strike zone's going out a couple inches. Yeah, but it just feels like, even though I know the White Sox, I believe that they are much worse against righties than against lefties. I feel like maybe when Tillman starts, that might sort of go out the window. We just expect him to get hit pretty hard here. So we'll see what the line is. We'll see what the conditions are for that game. But definitely, I'm thinking about fading Tillman on Thursday. Maybe putting him on the auto fade list, and or actually, no, I officially put him on the auto fade list. And Hill for the Dodgers is a guy who I'm in general looking to be overvalued going forward. I think that just about wraps it up. This late edition of this show, Drew Martin. Anything you would like to add before we cut it off? Enjoy the games and good luck. Absolutely. Drew Martin and I will again be back on Thursday for the upcoming weekend series in baseball. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.